Hi, I'm Leon Lovelace, and this is Unstoppable Force. Now, I need your help. I need you to go to my PayPal link. I'm going to put in a link in the description box below. I need you to donate to my PayPal so I can do this show full time instead of just part time. I got a news story for you. It's a pretty positive one, and it's from InjusticeToday.com. It's about how Florida prisoners are going on strike. Alright, prisoners in Florida are in the midst of a huge and risky protest. They started a strike and boycott on Martin Luther King Jr. Day meant to last through the month. The protest challenges exorbitant prices at canteens, urges Florida to extend parole as an incentive for good behavior to all prisoners, and demands a payment for prisoners' labor. But the tactic has sparked heavy pushback from the Florida Department of Corrections. Prisoners have told outside strike organizers that the department is trying to stifle their strike by retaliating against those who are participating, cutting off their communications with each other and with family and friends on the outside. So of course establishment's going to fight back against strikes and protests because they can't have that. They got to make sure the people are just compliant. I'll skip a little bit. And then Florida prisoners said they will stop working their prison jobs and boycott the canteen starting January 15th until the injustice we see facing prisoners in the Florida system is resolved. That includes what prisoners describe as a current slave arrangement in which they are made to work without pay. That's important to point out that they use the word slave because when you're pretty much working for nothing and you have no rights, you're put in a position of slavery right there. According to data collected by the Prison Policy Initiative, jobs that support prison facilities in Florida can pay as little as nothing at all. At most, prisoners make 32 cents per hour for work such as laundry, maintenance, or food service, and a high 55 cents per hour for producing goods such as sewn products or farm crops that are sold to government agencies and outside businesses. So this is really critical because our government is benefiting off of slave labor. And if we don't fight to put it into that bullshit, they're just going to keep doing it. Apart from the obvious injustice, prisoners say empty pockets make reentry difficult. Prisoners who are released are given just $50 and a bus ticket. I'll skip a line. Getting paid for work, on the other hand, will allow them to save up for life after prison. I'll skip a paragraph right here, but this is pretty despicable because it says, coupled with Florida prisoners receiving no wages, prisoners must purchase basic hygiene supplies, seasonal clothing, shoes, and supplemental foods, beverages from a grossly overpriced commissary and package system, which weighs heavily on their loved ones. Otherwise, prisoners must do without. So they're not just in prison because of some crime they committed, but they have to buy some basic, just everyday life items like soap and toilet paper and toothpaste. I mean, this is just fucking outrageous. So I guess that's the way that they get the poor people that aren't in prison to help put money in the prison system is to make their families give them money so they have to buy all these basic items. So this must have been a fucking idea from fucking private prison industry. I mean, it does not really cost that much to give people basic hygiene supplies at all. So okay, it's been difficult for organizers to get a full count, but people could find in at least 14 Florida prisons have participated in the strike, according to Karen Smith. I'll skip a little bit more. Smith's organization has gotten multiple reports through letters from incarcerated people that the Florida Department of Corrections has taken steps to repress the strike, including putting people in solitary confinement and shutting down phones. And then it also goes on about how prison officials would limit their privileges by putting them in a security threat group status. So this is good because if more and more prisoners in different states keep pushing and striking for better conditions and no slave labor, and especially if people that aren't in prison start protesting too with the prisoners, we could really push to get some reform. So of course we need to get some progressive people that actually run the prisons and are governors and county officials that run county prisons too, or have a say in that. So we really need to. Really takes a lot of us working together to really get these reforms, so we're actually treating each other with respect. Because just because you're in prison doesn't mean you need to be treated like an animal. That's unacceptable.